everyone, I am Karen Key, President of IREM Georgia, and I am here with Karen Hatcher today to talk about her career in real estate. Karen, congratulations on making the news in the Atlanta Business Chronicle under the executive section. How exciting was it to be named the Atlanta Realtors Association, ARA, 97th president, making you the first African-American female to lead such a prestigious organization. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Super honored and excited to serve in this role and make an impact on our amazing city.
So you joined the ARA in 2007. You are the founder, CEO, and head broker for Sovereign Realty and Management. And I was excited to hear that you plan to improve the diversity and inclusion of the real estate industry for Atlanta Metro in this new position of yours. As I'm sure you know, that is one of the main initiatives for the IREM strategic plan as well. So we definitely align very much so there.
Awesome.
Let's dive into your career. Tell me a little bit about how you got started in real estate.
Oh, real estate started long before I got licensed. My now husband, but then boyfriend, used to flip houses, and he was like, "You're so successful in your corporate job. Why don't you look at real estate as a career? You would kill it." And I just was like, maybe, because I had this corporate mindset, right? And he's always been a serial entrepreneur, and he just really pushed me like, "You have the work ethic. You're super smart. You need to do this." And there was an opportunity that I was looked over for in a corporate job, and I resigned. And I happened to be completing my MBA that year in real estate from Georgia State University. I also had joined that same year IREM and I had gotten student CPM, sorry, not at that time, it was Student of the Year in 2011. And it was July, and I said, all right, I'm going to resign and I'm going to jump into this full time. But one of the best decisions I ever made to bet on myself, being a woman of color, you have lots of barriers. Being a woman, period, presents a lot of glass ceilings, which we've made a lot of progress in as a group of women, right? We made a lot of progress in many industries over the years. However, there still is a gap. And so I wanted to remove myself from that and say, let me bet on myself. Let me see what I can do. And I read a lot of books. Was already graduating with my MBA in real estate, and I had already found IREM thanks to Dr. Debbie Phillips and then Deborah Westfall for, of course, escorting me in with love, the way that they always do, everyone. And I never looked back. I worked for another brokerage for about 8 years before I went fully independent to my own brokerage. So I owned Sovereign under that brokerage and operated under that brokerage since 2008, but went fully independent as a brokerage in 2015. But that's been my career, and I'm a numbers girl, and I immediately went into property management. So even when I got licensed in 2007, I was immediately drawn to property management because I'm numbers and operations. That's how my brain works. I got an undergraduate in finance. Everyone doesn't work like that, right? Real estate has so many different sectors, and you got to know your sweet spot. And, Dr. Debbie would call it your genius zone, right? You got to know where your sweet spot is. You have to know what you like to do. I love to analyze investment properties. I love to grow wealth through real estate for real estate investors. And I love to create and maximize value. And that comes all down to the numbers. And so if they work for our clients, then they make the acquisitions. We manage them through the holding period. And I focus on mainly single family, boutique, multifamily, residential. We also do some development now too. We're developing our own communities, some build to rent as well as build for sale, and really targeting the market sector for the everyday Atlantan. We've built single family homes over the years where we'll sell at luxury or the top market rate, but now we are producing product for the masses. So we're excited about our developments that we have coming. We've got some affordable housing partnerships, and that's the bulk of my career. You talked a little bit about diversity and inclusion. Honestly, the platform too, it's not just about race. Oftentimes people hear diversity and they think it's race, but diversity is numbers, right? So it's a numbers game, but we want to move to inclusion, and it's across the board, even in, property management, right? So I love that DEI is a priority. IREM's always been very welcoming. We've always had diversity in leadership. I think where we'd like to see that impact is within the companies that own property management companies. We need to see diversity in leadership there. But inclusion ranges from our inclusion in policymaking, in education, in being the authority. When legislation is proposed that affects us, we need to be there. We need to be advocates. We need a seat at the table. So that's where I also mean by inclusion is not just race, it's also brokerage sizes, company sizes. There are boutique companies and there are really large companies. I know you work for a really large company, which is awesome. But there are also boutique companies like myself, right? Where all of this stuff should matter as well. And for the industry overall, all of our voices matter. Because when things get, ordinances get proposed or legislation, it affects all of us.
It does.
So we should all have a seat at the table so we all as the industry understand everyone's initiative. So diversity and inclusion.
Absolutely. Wow, I mean, what an amazing story. I mean, all the years that I've known you through IREM, I don't think I ever knew your full story, but such an inspiration to all of our members out there. I mean, our student members, you started out, you were a student of the year, and then you went into it and you took the leap and invested in yourself. And a lot of people are so scared to take that leap. So wow, just such an impressive and inspirational path that you've been on.
Thank you.
A member of IREM, you got your certified property manager in 2018.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. You volunteered for several years as chairperson with the chapter. So, I mean, family, work, your own company, volunteer work, how do you balance it all? How do you do it?
First, I have an amazing husband and an amazing team, right? My parents are here. They also work at Sovereign and we have an incredible team. My team staff that has been with me for years. I really rely heavily on them. I love the work that they do and the value that they bring to our company. We being a boutique business, everyone does a lot of everything, right? You've got your roles, but you are touching a lot of things. And so that's helpful in being able to balance all of the needs and as you get pulled in, additional leadership roles in time. But we definitely have a lot of help, a lot of team, great family network, great mommy network, neighborhood network. And then of course, owning your time. You've got to be realistic about your time. I have loved serving in leadership at IREM, and I was also serving in leadership at Atlanta Realtors Association. And it came to a point where it was like, I couldn't do both. I also had just had twins. So we have an 8-year-old and we have 5-year-old twins. And so I was just, yes. And so I was pregnant with twins and the twins were young and it was like, I can't do all of these. So I needed to make a choice at that point about where I'm going to, where God was calling me. Honestly, it was like, I followed where my heart, and he creates the path, and I followed where I was being led at that time. And I always love IREM, and I will continue to serve at IREM. And of course, as my president year, I follow up being president at ARA. That frees up more time for me to get back involved at IREM. But I have loved serving at IREM over the years. IREM has been essential in just overall network, education, encouragement. I still talk to all of them, Velda, Shannon, Deborah, all of them today, right? It is incredible the relationships that you build there. And anyone that is looking to get into property management, I'm always like, you need to join IREM. You need to join IREM. You need to get your seat, because they ask me all the time, where did you learn this? Where you going? You need to join IREM. If you're in school, you need to become a student member, you need to join, you get to know them. They will welcome you with open arms, but that is the best education in the business, hands down. So I just absolutely love my time there, but you got to prioritize your time. And if it's all in on work, it's all in on work. And then if, weekend stuff with kid activities, if people follow me on Instagram, I am weekends typically with kid stuff, unless I have an urgent client business, but I'm typically at Girl Scout activities and kids sports games and making that happen. I work a little bit on Saturdays, but after that in the mornings, but after that, it's all family time. So.
Good for you. I couldn't agree more. You've got to have the balance. If you don't have the balance, you're not going to be able to keep it all up in the air, but it's impressive to see what all you can do with the time that you have.
Thank you.
You've had an amazing career. You've talked a lot about the accomplishments you've had in the groups you've served with, but what would you say makes you the most proud in your career? What is your most proud accomplishment?
Oh, my most proud accomplishment would be, honestly, it's seeing people meet their goals with the acquisitions that we make. for them. Because, you know, at IREM, we start with objectives first, right? It's owner's goals first. What are your client's goals? So we start out every client meeting with that, and every client, because my clients are everyday people. So and I'm teaching them how to invest in real estate and how to grow a rental portfolio, and seeing how strategic investing over time allows them to meet that financial goal. That to me is everything. People don't always understand how you can make the right investment, and people like me are like, how are you going to pay for college, right? And it's like, buy real estate, right? You know, and we coach them along with that, and it's like, how you want a certain cash flow when you retire, you want to live a certain lifestyle. What does that look like for you? Let's have a conversation about it. Okay, you got 3 kids. College is just supposed to cost X amount of dollars in 10 years. How are you going to pay for that? You know, and so we have to have conversations around what a 10-year hold would look like. Right. And so, and will that get you the appreciation and what you need? And so seeing people achieve that, for me, is that will always be my highest accomplishment. I mean, always, hands down, because it's just like, yes, you know.
No, I mean, that's completely rewarding. I mean, you're helping people reach their dreams. It's not just what you've accomplished, but you're helping people find their dreams and get there. That's amazing. So you talked about family, and that your family works with you, and that it's a family business. So your father, George Hamilton, is pursuing his accredited residential manager, and he's going to get his certified property manager. Since December, he's already completed ethics, leading a winning management team, budgeting, cash flow, and marketing and leasing. Wow. I mean, it's only like late January right now. So I know his mentor is extremely proud of him, as all of us are. Share with us a little bit about why you pushed him to continue his education through IREM.
Yes, so my father is a mechanical engineer. He's got undergraduate and graduate degrees in mechanical engineering, worked for Kodak for over 30 years. So he is super detailed. And I knew that as the growth of my company, I've always tried to hire people that have elements or characteristics that I don't have, or where you know what I mean? Like, so I can have a great, solid, balanced foundation. Yeah, so we have a multi-generational office because we want to make sure we're able to meet all of our clients' needs. So we have a multi-generational office. I knew that I needed a detail-oriented person, though. I needed to duplicate myself, but even on a higher scale as we grow the size of portfolios that we manage and the size of investments. So I finally was able to recruit him and afford him along with the rest of my team. So I was able to recruit him away. First, I had to convince him to move to Atlanta. And then, was finally able to recruit him away. And he is super smart, super detail oriented. He takes that engineering background, and he is a devil about the details, as they would say. He's always saying the devil's in details. He is so detail oriented that I know it's going to be provide such value to our clients in our business going forward, that I immediately was like, okay, first, all right, you're going to go to IREM, get education. Now, this is going to get you fully engrossed in what exactly we do here in property management. So I just knew he was going to excel. I'm so excited. He's learning so much. Everything he learns, he brings back to our weekly meetings, and he's making a difference already in because he's over operations. So he's making a difference already in terms of just communication with contractors, vacancy rates, and it's just, I'm so excited to be able to have him on board, and because he's really detailed like me, so it's great.
I mean, that's another
even better.
You're looking, but think about what you did. I mean, the translation of skills between an industry that has nothing to do with real estate, but how well he can thrive within your world by taking those skills and just applying them differently. That just speaks volumes to who can get involved in real estate and who can get involved in property management.
That's right. The real estate industry, y'all, we need all of you.
Yes.
We need marketers. We need tech people. We need accountants. We need
trainers.
Yes, we need all of you. So please look at the residential real estate industry, as well as all of the property management industry, office, commercial. We need talented people. So if you've not looked at property management as a career for you, please do so. It's an incredibly growing, lucrative industry. You will not be disappointed, and the people you get to work with are the best.
You served on the IREM Executive Council, now known as our Board of Directors. And we now do have the DE&I committee. So yay, it's our first year with that. So excited. And knowing it's something that you're passionate about, and I know you talked about it a little bit, that it's not just diversity based on race, it's all diversity and all inclusion. What's the best advice you could give us on bringing awareness to underrepresented groups, no matter what they may be? How do we reach them and get people involved?
You know, IREM has started that now, and I would say let's continue the charge. Let's do more social stuff like you're doing now, right? We're doing these interviews. They're going out. You're interviewing dynamic groups of people. There's a now educational component. I know Dr. Debbie is working on specifically targeting HBCUs to get diversity within the companies that work in property management. So continuing to stay out in front of it. I think the IREM in itself has always had diversity. I've always seen diversity and leadership in our chapter in the state of Georgia. However, that may not be the same throughout the rest of the nation, right? That could be an anomaly. I don't know. But I do know that as we continue to set the example and IREM uses this stage, we have always been leaders. IREM has always been leaders in the space in the property management industry. We've got the best people, right? Dr. Debbie, Belda, Shannon, we have the leaders, right? They're always winning all these awards, global awards, national awards. And if we continue to lead the way and you doing these interviews and spotlighting members, diverse members that are in leadership in all different kinds of companies, that is going to expose more people. And if you continue doing that as president, Madam President, and leading the way and setting the stage for everyone else to follow. I mean, how many people may see this interview, right? I'm going to post it out. I will also share it out on all of my social. I'm going to boost it because people need to know that this is a career. And oftentimes they're not even thinking of property management as a career, or they think that property management is kind of, they have the wrong opinion of and perspective. And if they knew the billions of dollars that are invested in this industry right now, it's like, yeah, they just need exposure. So continued exposure, highlighting leadership, and then getting that leadership reflected in companies is huge. And just continuing to do this, I think that IREM Georgia has always been on the right path. And I think it's going to continue to grow.
I love that. I think that's great advice. And I agree. I mean, IREM Georgia has always been diverse from my perspective as well. I mean, some of the amazing women and people and members that you've mentioned, Shannon and Velda, that have been leading us for years, right? It's just such amazing people to be around. So if we dive into IREM a little bit with you, I know you said you were a student member and you were a student of the year. So you mentioned Dr. Debbie getting you involved. So how did you first get involved with the Georgia chapter? How did she lure you in with us?
Yes, so I was getting my MBA in real estate at Georgia State, and my husband actually was getting he just finished his master's at the time and started working on his PhD at Georgia Tech in construction. And he had taken one of her classes, and he was like, hey, you need to take this class at Georgia Tech. So all you need to cross-register. And I was like, okay. And it was intro, I think, to residential property management, if I'm not mistaken. And he was like, you really need to take this class. You just have to meet her. She's amazing. You got to meet her. You're going to love her. And so I signed up, cross-registered, took the class at Georgia Tech. And we just, of course, who doesn't hit it off with Dr. Debbie, right? And so, I mean, we would stay after class and talk at least 30 to 40 minutes after class, a small group of us. And she would just constantly push me and the other students in the room to just keep moving forward, get involved in IREM. She connected me with Deborah Westfall. I called her. Of course, she just ushered me right in, and I started coming to the meetings, and I never looked back. I don't think I hardly ever missed a meeting. I was always at the meeting, always at the classes. I wanted to be a part of the change, right? Because representation matters. So people have to see you to also find something to connect to. For me, I was able to see Shannon. I was able to see Velda. And Velda also worked for a boutique brokerage. So I was able to connect with her on that aspect. I still call her and ask for mentor advice today as well from a business perspective. And we're able to make these relationships, and it keeps you engaged. And you just keep coming and being a part of it, being active, just loving to serve, wanting to make a better industry, better chapter. How can I serve my talents? What can I add? Where can I add value and bring my talents to IREM? And that was how I got in and never looked back.
What's
I
your
got a couple of
favorite?
IREM awards up here on my wall. So yes.
Yeah, I see those. What's your favorite IREM Georgia memory?
Woo, favorite IREM Georgia memory. Oh my gosh, would have to be when it would have to be, I swear, Shannon. Remember when Shannon walked in for her inaugural when she was getting installed with the suit? Favorite, hands down. And the dance, I was like, this energy, this is awesome. Like,
That was memorable.
you can, yes, like, you can be yourself. The themed events, like, I love it, you know, and that's what you want. IREM has the ability and the feeling where people can come in as themselves and feel welcome. They feel like they can be authentic. That's what I love. I have always loved about the IREM Georgia chapter. But yes, that's my favorite memory.
That is a great one. So before we leave today, what advice, knowledge, wisdom do you want to share with IREM members or real estate partners before we leave today? What is your lasting message?
Lasting message for real estate partners that are current members?
Either. This video is going to go everywhere.
Okay, so depending on who's watching this, my advice would be that if you are interested in property management or even have an inkling of wanting to join this business, or you just want to know what it's about and you're curious, to come to an IREM Georgia luncheon and come meet us and everyone there. The environment is incredible. The team there, we will all encourage you and get you set up on a career path that will help you win and find your sweet spot, you know, your niche and where you excel. And we will find a place for you. And to the executive leaders that are watching, I would just say that thank you for watching. Thank you for always paying attention to Georgia and allowing IREM Georgia to show leadership and what we're doing here to lead the way and make such an impact on diversity and leadership and who our members are. And just thank you for highlighting us. Thank you for continuing to see the work that we're doing. We absolutely love this industry. And thank you, Karen, Madam President, for this interview today.
I was about to say the same thing. So thank you, Karen, Madam President of the Atlanta Realtors Association, for taking the time out of your day to do the Spotlight series with us for our IREM members. Such a fantastic story, and I hope that it touches others out there and helps them reach their potential and see what they can do if they just take that leap. It has been amazing sitting down with you. Thank you again so much for your time.
My pleasure.